taken a decision to step away completely from party politics.
Where have you been?
I never planned to join the MKP. I still don't.
Yeah.
And he did.
From 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, he's joining the Power FM. Yeah.
Yes, President Matamela. I have never.
Man, ask the vendor guy in the room. So you don't think he's a white puppet? When do you lose your virginity, bro?
Yeah. For my brothers and sisters in the EFF. Love.
So you still consider him a brother?
Absolutely.
Hello and welcome to the channel. Now let's get into this podcast review. We are talking Ndlozi and his podcast tours. He firstly spoke to the SABC. We then see him speaking to podcast and MKP and so, and then he shut it down with giving Umkari there by Power FM, where he made major moves. Now we take a look at his content where he's talking about him being called the Ice Boy, his exit from the EFF, the founding of the EFF, his stance with Malema, having only spoken to him in November last year. What is actually going on with their bromance? And then we then close out with the sentiments from the fighters who are yearning for him. But he's got a brand new actually spanking job as a radio host. Okay, we're gonna talk about all of this. Please give this video a thumbs up as we do that.
Exactly on the 3rd of March 2025, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, he's joining the Power FM. Yeah. Ngathi umuntu uzokutshentsha radio la. Hi con. Yabona amanye ama-radio stations ngathi kuyadingeka ukuthi enze reshuffling, like keka strategize. Yeah, ngathi kuzoba tough. Yo. Wow. And I wish ukuthi that first 3 people that he must interview should be Floyd, followed by Julius Malema, and then thirdly Fikile Mbalula. I wish ukuthi anga interview those people in that order. I wish.
So Ndlozi finally broke his silence, but it looks like he did actually answer a lot of our questions that we had, even though he did not say exactly what we want to know. What is going on? What led to the fallout between the 3 of them, Ndlozi, Floyd, no Malema? These guys are hiding something and they are just clickbaiting us. Come on, guys. Tell us what happened. But in the meantime, he is playing nice. I'm sure Umalema appreciates this gesture, but we're going to discuss more sentiments about his interviews later on in this clip. Let's start off with the latest from Ndlozi. That is him taking up a position on Power FM as a contributor. So he will be having his own show on Power FM, replacing Ulerato Mbele. As you know her, she was hosting a politic and current affairs show. Now enter Ndlozi. So in this news, we see Ulerato Mbele responding after this was announced on the 14th of February, and she says, look, I'm currently out of the country and I will be back to finish off the rest of my show, and congratulations. She was aware of this change, we are hoping, but also we see that Ndlozi is only starting next month, so this is a good time for him to go for training, for him to brush up his communication skills, because even though he used to speak for a living, he has to now learn how to speak blind, basically, to speak to an audience that you can't necessarily see all the time, and also be effective in listening and also talking. So all the best to Ndlozi. He did also announce that last week. That was when we heard from him this year. Besides him tweeting and retweeting there on Twitter, he then said, look, I'm done with party politics. That's it. And that is when he announced that he is focusing on his academia and also gonna be looking at community development. I guess then this is one of them. Or are we then going to see him maybe taking up a slot as a lecturer, which people had suggested, or is he going to be part of an NGO? Well, we will see how this one plays out. At the moment, he's holding his cards close to his chest. But as he said that he did visit 2 interviews so far, and also including the one where he announced his new role. So that will be the 3rd, that is with Given Mkari on the show called The Chairman's Conversation that happened in Johannesburg. So now looking back at his other interviews, he first broke his silence with the SABC. Now, these guys disappointed us with horrible sound. And then, but also what we did get out of it was that he was suspended, which people kept on questioning the leadership of the EFF, and they denied it. They pretended like they had no idea what was happening with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Where is that intelligence report that is supposedly causing Ndlozi to be suspended for so long? And then voila, nothing has come out of it. It will probably be declared classified or something like that, because it's probably based on a hunch, and obviously it is based on what Floyd Shivambu said. Floyd Shivambu finished Ndlozi, guys, when he said that he could have just left peacefully. In fact, it's obvious now that Floyd is the toxic one in these 3 people. Remember when he said that on the podcast with Usizwe, that could have been the thing that caused Umalema to just say, okay, I can't trust this guy anymore.
That's really all I have for my brothers and sisters in the EFF. Love.
So you still consider him a brother?
Absolutely.
Even after all the stuff he said about you. I mean, he even took a jab at your wife.
You can never choose where the test of your character must come from. There are people who have had worse from their mothers.
Oh, yeah.
From their brothers. From their sisters. So you can't say, no, only the enemy must test me.
So he calls you now. He picks up the phone.
I will pick it up.
He says, I just watched Podcast and Chill. Biggest podcast in Africa. Love it, by the way.
Shout out.
I'm hearing your side of the story.
Proud of you.
I'm hearing your side of the story. I want to meet, reconcile. Is that something you're open to? And would you go back if that opportunity was handed to you?
No, he has no power to impose me on the leadership of the EFF. Leadership gets elected in a conference. I hold nothing in my heart against the president of the EFF, and I got to work very close with him, and as a leader, as an activist, he has gone through a lot, for the views. He has been ostracized a lot. For that, I think his contribution is certainly something of serious importance, and I would never join any voice to write him off or to write the EFF off.
All right. Now let's take a look at his conversation with MacG and Soul. Now, when this announcement came out, Twitter was a buzz because why? They speak the language of the people. They ask the questions that the people want to know, right? And it's up to a person to answer or not answer. Most people are always disappointed by them asking about their sexual encounter. They there's always commentary. No, why don't you let Saul drive? Why doesn't McG sit this one out? But guess what? Everybody's got their own way of doing things. All right, guys. So now let's look at his content. You have seen the clips. You have seen what he has said. We'll look at what the sentiments are, and we'll put them here on screen. But coming out of the topics that they covered.
So I just finished watching the Mbuyiseni Ndlozi interview, and all I can say is he's a far better person than I am. Far, far better. This is quite a loss for the EFF, but I think that it's also a loss to South African politics. I'm glad that he says he's going to stay in advocacy and academia because we need his contributions. But I also thought, it's nice, hey, going to school. Go to school, guys, because he's got options. But, big ups to Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. The bigger person really showed up in him in that interview, and I think that he leaves a really sweet taste in the mouth of South Africans, whether you like him or not. I think he came across as really impressive, and I think people would want to see more of him in the future.
But then it just went also to show that he's definitely not going to MKP by the way that he spoke about Uzoma.
Before we continue, why did you leave the ANC, by the way?
He tried to explain away why he is now supporting Cyril Ramaphosa. Obviously, for most of us, we thought, it means that Ofigile Mbalula have gotten to him and he will be then joining the MPs of the ANC. But it looks like they couldn't convince him enough, but it was enough for him to change his tune. Let's see where this relationship could lead them. Please do let me know what you think down below in the comment section, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up and I will see you on the next video.